Post your questions if you want to. And I'm back, and we are going to discuss now the questions, no, of our subscribers. Sagutin natin itong mga questions natin, subscribers, no. Okay, so ito po ang tanong ni Jack Rizal Sungkuan, no. It was 23 hours ago, and ang tanong niya is, attorney, mabagamit po ba ang tax declaration sa pagpapatitulo ng manang lupa? Yun lang po kasi ang binigay ng kapatid ko, ng tatay ko nung magkahatian po sila. Tsaka ano po ang gagawin kapag yung manang lupa ay mali ang record sa DNR, nakapangalan pa si ibang tao? Well, a little bit complicated ang question mo, Jack Rizal, no? However, that ang point dito ngayon is that, remember mo doon sa aking video lectures, if you would like to remember, if you want to transfer the tax declaration, walang titulo ha, tax declaration lang, tapos i-transfer mo ang tax declaration sa pangalan mo dahil nabili mo or minana mo, yan. Pwede po kayong gumawa ng extrajudicial settlement, no? And yung tax declaration na nasa inyo na pangalan is pwede po nyo magamit yun sa pagpapatitulo ng lupa by applying for a patent. Alright? So, check nyo lang kung alienable or disposable ang property sa DENR. And from there, yun, pwede mo nang ipatituluhan, no? Either agricultural patent or residential pre-patent, Jack Rizal, no? So, yun po ang sagot ko sa katanungan mo. Alright, so may tanong pa. Hi Karen G. Good morning also. Thank you for watching today. And si Rosemary, no? Ito may tanong siya. Hi Rosemary Ang. My mom died 10 years ago. We want to transfer the names of her house, no? Yung title siguro ng house, but we don't know the title of the property. We pay our taxes every year. What can we do? Need advice. So hindi nyo alam yung title. Wala pala kayong kopya ng title, Rosemary. But you know that it is titled. Sino ba nag-keep ng title pala, Rosemary? Paano nangyari yun, no? Well, kung nagbabayad po kayo ng taxes, so may tax declaration kayo, tingnan po nyo sa tax declaration sa left side, makita po yung title number po ng property ninyo. And from there, pag makita yung title number sa property nyo, punta kayo sa Registry of Deeds at mag-secure kayo ng certified true copy of the title. Kung nawala ang titulo, then you have to execute an affidavit of loss and file a case in court for the petition for the issuance of new title in lieu of the lost one. So may video vlog po tayo niya, no? Yung lost title. So panoodin naman po natin yon. So kung tinago ng mother mo, yung mama mo pala nagtago, and she died 10 years ago, kailangan magkuha muna ka ng certified true copy. Malaman niyo kung at least baka may mga annotations doon o baka na-cancel na. Hindi niyo alam kung anong status, no? So, from your question, no, dito sa chat kasi, you could put your questions also sa chat box natin, no? Ang tanong kasi ni Rose is kung ano daw ang pwedeng gawin. Kasi yung tax declaration, nakasaad po doon yung title number. And you get a certified true copy. Check nyo kung nandyan pa ba ang title or cancel pa ba or existing pa ba. Alright? Sige. So you're in the US, so you might as well give an SPA to someone here to do that for you. Through an apostille, no? You could engage somebody or relative or a friend or somebody that you could hire to do that for you while you're in the US. Thank you for watching from the United States daw, si Rosemary Ang. Alright, so proceeding. Tapos ko na ito si Jack Rizal, ha? Mr. Jack Rizal, I hope you're watching. Ito na po yung ating mga second question po for the day. 3 days ago, ano niya ito? Paano po sir pag panalo ang kaso ng lupa pero di po na-claim, may umangkin ng iba na di pwedeng kunin yun dahil hindi na-claim? Kaya sila na ang nakapangalan dahil abandoned na daw yung lupa. Okay, paano po sir pagpanalo ang kaso ng lupa? Magulo atong tanong na ito, no? Chinese character. Kindly clarify your question, no? So we will have a please clarify. Type pa natin ng please clarify para masagot natin ng mabuti ito. I cannot answer. Medyo blurred ang katanungan ninyo. Blurred in the sense that I could not decipher what you're trying to say, no? Okay. Paano po kung dalawang tax declaration sa isang lote nag-agawa tuloy sa lupa? So ipa-cancel po natin, no? Noel Gajardo, no? Kung may dalawang tax declaration, ipa-cancel po natin ang isa. And how do you cancel that? Kung sino po yung first na naka-execute ng deed of sale at naka-first nakapa-tax declaration sa lupa, yun po ang magwawagi, no? So you have to do that by having it canceled with the local city assessors. Now, if they cannot do it, then you have to go to court. Wala tayong choice but to go to court. Noel Gajardo, rights ng lupa, okay ba bilhin na topic natin, na segment natin? Alright, so may mga tanong tayo dito. Kay Maya Chabs. Hi Maya, good morning. Attorney, nang mamatay ang nag-ampon sa amin, pinatitulo ng kapatid ko yung lupa sa pangalan niya. Pwede po ba kaming gumawa ng kasulatan na may karapatan din ako doon? Alright, ito. That's correct, no? So, I think when you're saying na may nag-ampon sa inyo, I would assume that is a legal adoption, no? Maya. So, okay, if it is a legal adoption, you have all the rights now as parang anak ba? And you could inherit already from the person na nag-ampon sa inyo. So, what happened is that pinatitulo ng kapatid mo, ng isa ng kapatid mo. And I do not know how she did it. Maybe by claiming na siya lang ang heir noong namatay, no? And that is not right because you have an interest over the property as an ampon. But the fact is, okay naman siya palang kausap yung nagpatitulo. Hindi naman kaya niya inaangkin at okay naman siya. Then in that case, the best thing to do is to execute necessary documents para mabigay yung parte mo. So, ang pinakamaganda niyan is magkaroon kayo ng judicial partition doon sa lupa. Pagkatapos, kuha kayo ng geodetic engineer, ipasubdivide ninyo, tapos pag-usapan nyo kung saan ang sign doon. Then, pag napag-usapan nyo na yun ang share mo, mag-execute siya ngayon ng deed of conveyance. Doong portion na yun, ng share, papunta sa'yo. So, yan po ang gagawin natin. Gagawin po ninyo. Alright? So, I hope I have answered your question. Maya Chabs, thank you for that question. Si Mary Ann Herona, yes, good morning also Mary Ann. Yeah. Ask ko lang po kung pwede po ba kumuha ng CNI sa Assessor's Office, so Certificate of No Improvement, if may informal settlers ang iyong property. If not po, anong solution sa ganitong sitwasyon? Well, Certificate of No Improvement, when there are informal settlers na merong mga bahay-bahay doon nagawa ng mga informal settlers, no? I think you could still ask for Certificate of No Improvement because in the first place, the city assessors, if they would like to conduct ocular inspection, mag-conduct sila ng ocular inspection doon, pagtingin lang may mga informal settlers, siyempre, walang mga building permit yan, and there are improvements, they could not, pwede pa ngang ma-refer yan sa City Engineer's Office for summary demolition. Although, in most cases din, ang mga City Engineer's Office, ayaw din nila mag-act yan kasi sabihin lang, you go to court muna yung may-ari. And for your question, if they will give a Certificate of No Improvement, technically speaking, Certificate of No Improvement as an owner. Pero maybe they would also refuse by saying kasi merong mga improvements to ng mga informal settlers. Ang akin, no, the best thing to do is to deal with the problems on this informal settler first. And paano mo ba i-deal ang problem? Meron akong na-discuss doon sa aking isang video wherein I said na baka pwedeng pag-usapan mo na. Kasi kung kukonti lang sila, pwede naman silang kausapin. Or kung marami sila, tingnan kung may asosasyon. Kung may asosasyon sila, you need to talk to the officers. And kung hindi, magpatulong tayo sa barangay. And kausapin natin, ano ba ang pwede nating magawa? Because baka pwedeng mali sila at magawa natin ng paraan na mabigyan natin sila ng konting financial assistance para mag-relocate sila. That's it. Although, under the law, you are not required na magbigay ng financial assistance or parang relocation sa kanila because it's a private property, titled private property niya, no? So, sometimes kasi sila, medyo hindi ko maintindihan, medyo magtapang-tapang and they would say na we demand this, we demand that and everything bago kong palisin. So, pag unreasonable naman yung mga demands, you have to go to court, no? You have to file a case against them to have them booted out, no? Depende kung forcible entry ba ang ipafile natin, kung within the 1-year period pa tayo, or recovery of possession. And definitely, you will win on that because it's a titled property. There's no question about that. Marami namang issues, no? Marami namang cases here na nananalo talaga sa mga ganyan. Ang problem lang yung pag-execute po ng judgment ng korte through the sheriff, no? Because you will be needing a demolition team. Magastos po yun, no? You will be needing the assistance of the local government on that because they will also determine if these settlers are informal settlers or baka part of the syndicate for which are they entitled for a relocation. Marami pa po, no? And you will be needing police assistance. But alam nyo, meron talagang nakakagawa niyan, and here in Davao City, talagang nadademolish sila because yun lang enforcement talaga ng demolition ang problem. Because sometimes they will line up, get placards and say, hindi pwede, magkapit-bisig sila para ayaw magpaalis. No? But sabi ko nga, sometimes it's better to talk to them. Baka mapag-usapan, baka konti lang rin pala yung mga hingi sila ng tulong. So, that's it, no? Just try to balance and weigh it and talk to your lawyer about it on anong pinakamagandang technique. Okay? So, yun, Mary Ann Herona. Okay. Thank you to also Rosemary Ang for your question, and I'm happy that you were able to understand, no, sa ating yung at nasagot ko yung mga tanong mo. Okay. Hey, Manette, good morning. Yes, good morning also. Thumbs up to also sa'yo. Julians M. Hello, attorney. Hi, attorney. Paano po yung title nalipat sa buyer? Pero ACP ito. Absolute Community Property. Okay. Walang consent sa wife. Merong ongoing injectment case prior to the application and release of this transfer. So, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng kaso, no? Well, actually, kung walang consent na asawa, that is a void transaction. Although it may be considered as a continuing offer, baka pwedeng bayaran yung asawa ng nakabili. But if he will not pay, then of course, the wife could really question the transaction as being void, no? So, having said that, I would say that yung nakabili ng walang marital consent, nasa alanganin sila na posisyon, no? So, dapat, kasi nag-due diligence sila, absolute community property. Even if kasi kung title nga is single, you have to verify on whether or not talagang single siya or baka married pala yun siya, no? Hindi man siya pwede basta-basta mag-claim ng good faith because you have to exercise due diligence before buying real property. So, yeah, nalipat na yung title sa buyer. Anong gagawin mo? Simple. Mag-file po kayo ng nullification of title by reason of a void deed of sale because there is no marital consent. You file that case in court. Depende po ang jurisdiction, no? Pag ang jurisdiction magdepende sa assessed value ng lupa ng property. It's more than 400,000 above, it would be the regional trial court, and below, it would be municipal trial court. Okay, yan po, no? So, Christine ako, pwede ba mabawi ng husband ang property that his wife sold without marital consent? Wife owned the property before their marriage, kaya single ang nakasulat sa title. What happens to the buyer's money? So, similar sa tanong ni Julian's, no? Yes, sabi ko nga, yung wife owned the property before their marriage, single sa title. Now, when they got married, I will presume that they got married August 3, 1988 onwards, no? That's covered by the family code, and wala silang prenuptial agreement. Automatic po, ang property regime natin is absolute community of property. Gaya nung sabi ni Julian's, no? Absolute community property. Now, binenta ng wife without the consent of the husband. Pwede po i-question ng husband. Now, the issue here is kung what happens to the buyer's money. Anong mangyayari sa buyer's money, no? Nakabayad siya. Well, basically, if ma-prove ng buyer na talagang in good faith siya at exercise siya ng due diligence, no? He could get back at least the money that he paid to the buyer if the husband would like, to the seller, if the husband would like to claim back the property. Kasi ang options kasi ng husband ganito eh. First is that the husband may say, dagdagan mo, bayaran mo ako so that you get that, sabi niya sa buyer. Or pwede niya sabihin sa buyer, hindi dapat ibenta yan and I have to return your money. Yan. But if the buyer is in bad faith, ayun, mahirapan siya makakuha ng mabalik yung pera niya. Now, he might be considered is in siya pang makabayad ng danyos perwisyo. This is not an ordinary case of rescission of contract, no? Kasi meron tayong tawag na kaso yung rescission of contract, no? Yung to rescind. When you rescind because hindi na ma-comply ang obligation ng both parties, so you have to give back what you have received, and she has to give back what he has received also. And from there, kung sinong in bad faith, yun may damages yun. And this one, because the sale was made without the consent of the husband, then technically speaking, it is a void transaction, no? Walang consent ng co-owner. So, depende po. Pag-file niyan sa kaso sa court, usually magkakaroon man ng mediation. Hindi ba ibig sabihin kasi i-hear kagad, i-determine kagad sino ang tama at mali. Hindi man yan ang ganyan ang proseso sa korte. Kasi the moment you file a case, the other party might file an answer, then it will be set for mediation by the court, no? Pag-usapan. Baka along that way, pwede kayong magkaareglo. But you know, the buyer's side here, he is in a losing bargaining position. So if he is in the losing bargaining position, talagang makikipag-areglo po yan doon sa complainant or sa plaintiff. So, depende na lang kung anong mapag-usapan, no? Alright, so, pag-usapan kasi these things po, basta property matters, may conflict, may gulo tayo, pwede po ito siyang subject for amicable settlement by the parties. No need for fight, no need for pataasan ng ego. These are things that could be settled outside in court, no? Or even if it's already in the court, pwede pa rin yan siyang aregluhin. Alright? Sige. Alright. And Maya Chab, salamat po attorney, and welcome Miss Maya. Okay. And Mary Ann, welcome also. I hope I answered your question. Si Karen G. Yes, hello Karen. Attorney, may extrajudicial at naipublish na sa local newspaper. Kaso may problema po. Yung 2 lots, mas malaki nakalagay sa area kaysa sa kadastro. Okay? At ang isang lot, may nagki-claim na pwede po ba gamitin ang extrajudicial. Okay. Now, extrajudicial. Ang basis kasi ng extrajudicial ninyo is yung title. And the title contains the technical description. It is presumed to be the legal and correct technical description because it's a public document that came out from the issuing government agency and entered in the registry of deeds. So, if you will ask me, pwede bang gamitin yung extrajudicial para i-transfer ang title? And the answer is yes. Now, if the other party claims na mas malaki yung area, mas maliit ang area and everything, it is not for us to decide but the courts. So kung meron mag-claim na iba ang size ng area kaysa doon sa nakasaad sa technical description ng title, we are not in the position to you even, not in the position to determine kung sino ang tama. Mali. Unless you agree and you enter into some court of settlement. But if you cannot agree, you have to go to court and the court will decide. Okay? And mind you, the court will, of course, just base it on the technical description ng title because that is presumed correct, no? Unless the other party will also file a case to nullify the title dahil mali ang technical description. Depende na lang yan, no? So, it's a case-to-case basis. A little bit complicated ang question nyo, but I hope I have given you the gist of everything, no? Na pwede po gamitin si extrajudicial settlement. Alright, so thank you, Karen. Christine, what is the time prescription for the husband to go after the is? Okay. Prescriptive period. This is actually, since it's a void contract, imprescriptible po siya. Everything that is void, no prescription po yan siya, Christine, no? You could always question that at any time. Hindi katulad ng mga voidable contracts, meron siyang period of at least 10 years. And for a written contract, kung verbal naman is 4 years. Alright. Karen G. Sa pagpakompute ng BR estate tax po, pero ihuli muna ang tulats na may problema. Hindi papayag yung ang BIR. BIR will compute everything. All the estate tax. Kaya maghihingi yan sila ng affidavit, ng total land holding sa city assessor's office where the properties are located, including where the person died, no? Kung saan siya nakatira, hingi yan sila. Kasi they would like to settle the estate kaisa. Hindi po pwede yung paisa-isa kasing isa-settle Na isettle ko itong area dito, isettle ko itong area sa lugar na ito. Hindi po. Buo po talaga ang settlement. Okay, Karen G? Alright. Tax deck pa lang po. Hindi na title. Ayan. Then you have to go to the DNR and have a relocation survey. You will be needing a geodetic engineer for that, no? Kapag tax deck pa lang. Minsan kasi sa tax deck, hindi talaga yan nasusukat ng mabuti. And then you have to go to the DNR. Yeah, the cost cadastral survey would be somehow be controlling na po yung cadastral survey, no? So, iparelocation nyo lang po ulit yun siya. Relocation survey. Kailangan nyo ng geodetic engineer. Alright. Manet. Okay. Hello, Manet. Thank you so much, Manet. Alright, Julians. Attorney, nakapagpatayo na ng bahay si buyer po. Ano po magiging decision ng court? Depende, no? Julians, no? Kapag nakapagpatayo. First is if he is in bad faith, in good faith. Pag in bad faith siya, pwede po yun. Maraming options. So, meron akong video. If you're a builder in good faith or a builder in bad faith. Search mo yun, Julian, no? Basta, in essence, kapag you are in bad faith, the other party may demand that you remove it. And you will be liable for damages also si buyer. Kasi she's in bad faith, he has no right to build over that property sa pag-purchase yun. So, that's an argument. But, proving bad faith is quite difficult. Mahirap talaga i-prove because that is somehow a state of mind. If really you have a clear and convincing evidence that he knew, the buyer knew at the time of nung purchase ng property na merong asawa pa na yung isa at pinili pa rin niya and then that could be proven in court, yan panalo. Like for example, nag-attend siya sa kasal, ninong siya sa kasal, binili pa rin niya doon single. That's clearly in bad faith yun. So, it must be a clear and convincing evidence. No? Hindi pwede yung marites lang ang ating evidence. No? Kasi it will not really help. No? So, proving bad faith is quite difficult. Alright, so Christine, what happens to the buyer's money if the wife cannot return his money? Well, it's not the wife that would return. Maybe ang natanggap ng wife is a portion only. And then, what happened will be that the husband may ask from the buyer na dagdagan mo. Because what you have paid is kulang. Or sabihin ng buyer, no, it is enough. Nasa wife mo na and everything. And then the husband would say, okay, I have not received anything from the wife and I do not consent to the sale. Ipa-void ko ng transaction natin. Pwede yung ganun. Alright, Karen, thank you also. And Julians, thank you also. So let's proceed. Wala ng mga tanong. So let's proceed answering the questions here. So tapos daw kay Noel. Gi-click ko na siya ng like. Nasagot ko na. From Abe Garaes, 5 days ago. Attorney, paano po ba kumuha ng panibagong titulo ng lupa pag nawala yung kopya na hawak na may-ari? Nawala po kasi yung sa amin. Yes, Abe. Please watch my video on petition for reissuance of new title. Actually, I made 2 videos. One is for reconstitution of original title. Yung nakatago sa vault ng ROD, yung pinaka-original. Iba yung procedure doon. And I also discussed this petition for the reissuance of new title, yung owner's copy of title. Yun, no? You could, maganda po doon sa video niyon kasi step by step, no? Na discuss ko talaga anong proseso pati pag-file sa court, magkano mong gagastusin. Please look at that video, Abe, no? Yung petition for the issuance of new title. So, i-click natin to ng check. And I am finished now with this one. Alright. Kay Jenny De Villeres. Ano kaya ito ni Attorney De Villeres? No? Attorney, maraming salamat sa kalaman. Tanong ko lang po. Ito. Pwede pa po ba makorek ang subdivision plan sketch kung may discrepancy? Yes, pwede naman. Kung may discrepancy, pwede naman siya makorek. Wala po yung ano. Well, if it is the subdivision plan or sketch lang, then you have to have that corrected with the geodetic engineer, no? I hope you are not asking me a question kung ang technical description noong title. Ibang usapan yan, kasi you have to go to court. Pero kung ang ipakorek lang po natin, yung ginawang subdivision plan sketch, may discrepancy, pwede pa yan siya ulitin. Please go to your geodetic engineer for that, no? And tutulungan kayo. Alam nila yung kung anong gawin. Mga expert yan sila when it comes to that. Alright, so I'm done with this. And I will proceed with the next question habang may mga tanong dito iba. Alright. Good morning po, attorney. Please enlighten me all about the law of succession in terms of when shares of stockholder dies. Is the lone living daughter has the full legal rights for dividends and share of stock left by her late father? Please explain further how the process po. So, ibig sabihin, ang tanong ni Diosdado dito, Torre, regarding sa law of succession, yung shares of stock, no? It's a personal property and it is an invisible property. Actually, hindi an invisible property. It is an intangible property. Ang tangible property, nakakawakan natin. Like this one, pwede nating, this is a tangible property. Pero yung shares of stock, hindi naman nakikita. That is an intangible property, invisible property. But it is a property. May value siya, shares of stock. So, gaya ng, since it's a property, you have to execute an extrajudicial settlement of real property, of the estate, no? Of the personal property of that decedent, no? Iba po yung settlement ng real estate, yung real property. Ito po personal property pa. In my case po, ang ginagawa ko, pinagse-separate ko pag mag-settle ako ng real estate, real property from the personal property. So, ganun din po. Gawa po naka-extrajudicial settlement. And after that, since lone living daughter nga pala to sa'yo, no? Yes, kung siya lang po mag-isa, descendant, then therefore, she gets everything po. And she will execute what we call an affidavit of self-adjudication. Yan, no? Tapos, we recorded po ang publication yan in newspaper of general circulation. Tapos, ipa-file din nyo yan sa stock and transfer book ng corporation. Okay? Ipa-file yan doon. Pagkatapos, para mag-change ang entry doon na na-cancel na yung ownership ng father at malilipat sa pangalan niya. But you have to pay for the taxes, no? Meron ganun din. You have to pay for the estate tax at saka proof, no? Sa BIR para ma-consider yan siya ng Securities and Exchange Commission as an absolute transfer already. Kailangan po yun siya. Otherwise, if you do not pay the tax, wala po yun siyang effect, no? Then after that, pag once na changes sa stock and transfer book ng korporasyon, pwede na kayo gumawa ng bagong General Information Sheet. And sa GIS na, nalagay na yung bagong may-ari, yung daughter, no? In fact, even the dividends, no? Kung may na-issue na ng mga dividends sa father, kailangan rin niya i-settle yun, i-adjudicate yun sa kanya para malipat sa kanya at maklaim niya yung pera. So, yan po, no? The same lang po yan. In fact, kung mga big corporations, if you have invested in San Miguel and everything, all you have to do is to call their staff there and visit up and tell them na namatay na yung stockholder, what are the requirements. They will even give you and assist you on how to do it. Bibigyan kayo ng list of requirements. Of course, yung death certificate, tapos yung stock certificate, tapos yung proof of ownership niya sa shares of stock and everything, no? Then you will be required to execute a deed of extrajudicial settlement or affidavit of self-adjudication for that matter. Depende po. Kung single, kung isa lang ang heir, yun, affidavit of self-adjudication. For kung marami, deed of extrajudicial settlement. Ayan. So, I hope I have answered your question, Diosdado, no? Meron din akong video on corporation, but I have not yet made a video na about shares of stock, paano mag-transfer ito step by step, no? And with that, I will put a heart on this because I'm going to create a video, a detailed video on this. Alright? Sige. So, okay, marami na mga tanong dito sa ating chat box, no? Julian's ulit, sabi niya, paano po magpagawa ng valid na last will and testament? Magkano po gagastusin? Alam nyo, wag na lang tayong maggastos, Julian's. Pinakamagandang gawin ninyo is that, ito lang yon, yung holographic will. Now, na-discuss ko rin ulit yan sa distinctions, what are those kinds of wills, no? Sa holographic will, pinaka-importante is that it is written under the penmanship, no? Under the hand of the testator. Kunyari, ikaw, Julians, gawa ka. Dear to whom it may concern, in case of my demise or death, I will give the following properties to these people. It should be under your handwriting, ha? Huwag mo ipautos sa iba. Dapat ikaw mismo talaga ang magsulat. And it must be dated. May date siya. Let's say, November 4, 2022. Signed, Julian M. Tapos, pirmahan mo. Kompletong pangalan, tapos pirmahan mo yan siya. Now, that is now a holographic will. Wala pang bayad. And while buhay ka pa, pwede mo yung ipaprobate. Kung gusto mo, kung feeling mo magkakaroon ng controversy sa baba. And mag-aaway ang mga heirs, pwede mo na ipaprobate yan sa court. Punta ka sa court, file ka ng petition for probate, and the court will ask this, oh, you're alive, you're the one, you're still alive and you want this probate. Yes, Your Honor. Sino pa ang magka-question yan? Ano pa ang magagawa ng korte? So, is this your signature? Yes, sir. It is your handwriting? Yes, sir. It's dated, no? Okay. Then approve, probate. Masusunod ito. Yun na. Yung iba naman, kung ayaw mong gumastos sa court para mag-probate o wala kayong time, Ako, with the recent technologies that we have right now, iba habang nagsusulat ka, pwede mo nang i-video. Oh, I am now making a holographic will under my handwriting. Sabihin nyo doon, sabihin nyo sa I'm now making a holographic under my handwriting, dated and signed by me, ha? Oh, pirmahan mo. Pagkat dated. Tapos, pakita mo dun sa camera, this is my last will and testament and I want my executor of this will to be my friend whose name is Juan de la Cruz, which I'm going to keep this in a safe box, etc., etc. So, wag na yung pero kung gusto mo talaga paggawa ng last will and testament, yung notarial will sa lawyer, pwede naman. Punta lang kayo sa lawyer. Alam na namin kung anong gawin. Ako naman, ang ginagawa ko, okay, ano pong gusto nyo? Give me all the list of properties and the heirs na gusto mo ibigay. Ano pong gusto nyo? Yan. So, with that, pag sasabihin niya, gagawin ko. Then, ino-notarize ko. Ang difference lang kasi sa notarial will is pwedeng magkaroon ng maraming kopya. Kasi sabi niya, sir, I need 4 or 5 copies na notarize ko yun. So, although we are not required to keep a copy, pag magka-keep akong copy, pwede ako maka-certified true copy later kapag nawala. Unlike sa holographic will, pag nawala yan, wala na. Tapos yung video mo cannot be proven in evidence kasi secondary evidence yan. Kailangan po yung original wills. Yun lang ang difference nila. And kung magkano po ang gasto sa notarial will, not less than 10,000 pesos po ang pagpagawa niyan, no? Well, according sa taripa here in Davao City. Okay? So, yan ang question mo, Julian. So, I hope I have answered it, no? And si Johnny S. Johnny, I don't know if I pronounce it right. Good morning, attorney. Almost 40 years na po kami sa agricultural land na nabili namin pero tax deck lang hawak namin. But upon applying for title, nalaman namin na included yung area sold sa ibang tao. So, nabenta pala. So, you were not, well, pag unregistered land kasi, the first one to have it registered or probably, baka may application na yung kaya nalaman nyo included na yung area sold sa iba dahil na-applyan na ng iba, no? So, yan, medyo problematic, no? Because, dapat kasi, if it is, pero you're in possession of the property, no? So, I think you could still claim that, no? Because you are the first in possession of the property when you sold it. So therefore, you could still question bakit nabenta yung property na hindi naman sila in possession, no? Kasi usually, when you apply for title with the DNR, merong land investigator yan at saka merong relocation survey na i-request yan. So, kung nagkamali, pwede po ninyong ma-claim po yung kahit na natituluhan pa sa kabila, you could demand, no? Kasi mali ang pagkano. So, court matter na naman ito, but the best thing to do is to maybe go to the DNR and ask for their help. Kasi they have these summoning powers ba? Pwede sila mag-summon. Papatawag nila yung mga tao for so nagkamali kami ganun everything, we have to do this, to do that, no? Pagkabenta na sobrahan, mali ang kasi sila po ang nakaka-determine talaga kung ano talaga yung tamang sukat. For all you know, baka yung tax declaration ninyo ibang sukat, tamang sukat nila, or mali ang sukat nila, tamang sukat ng tax deck nyo. Malalaman nyo po yan doon sa DNR. Pero I would suggest na magpatulong po kayo o sumangguni po kayo sa isang abogado for this, no? Para naman mag-guide kayo on how to talk to the DNR people on this, no? And also your geodetic engineer. Kailangan nyo. At least medyo gagastos talaga kayo. Sayang naman, for 40 years na kayo sa lupa na yun, bakit ngayon pa lang kayo nagpa-title? Dapat pinatitlean nyo na kaagad. Kasi doon sa bagong batas na sign ni President Duterte, shorter period of time, pwede mo nang ipatituluhan, no? So, yung prescriptive period na 30 years, wala na yan. I think 10 years yun, no? Please look at my video blog on that, no? Video lecture on that. This regarding paano magpapatitulo ng lupa, no? Na tax deck lang hawak para maliwanagan po kay lalo. Alright, so si Julian, so meron pa siya. Can I exclude my husband in my will? Okay. Actually, panoodin mo, Julian, yung gusto mo exclude sa last will and testament mo, ha? Yung husband mo. Okay. Ano ito na lang. Panoodin mo yung disinheritance na video natin. Pwede bang i-disinherit ang spouse? And the answer is yes. Meron pong grounds for disinheritance. Noodin nyo, nandun yung kasagutan sa yung tanong. I don't want to discuss this here. Baka marinig ng husband mo. Delikado tayo dyan. Pagalitan tayo niya. No? Tsaka I think it's a pending problem between the two of you. Alright. And si Christine again. The wife claimed she's single, sold, and received full payment. Pwede po pala maging modus to para mang-scam ng buyer kasi di na masoli ang pera ng buyer. Now, ganito yan, Christine, no? It's not actually a modus. What I'm trying to say is that I think you're on the buyer side. When the property was offered to you for sale at nakalagay doon single, now, when you ask for a valid identifications like driver's license, yung mga bagong nilang mga IDs nila, makita mo man na iba na apelyido nila doon. Possible yun. Yun yung mga conduct ng due diligence pa, no? Then, kunyari, nabigyan sa license, tapos iba na apelyido, that would now be a question already na iba pa na apelyido mo, kasado ka. Okay. Iba naman, pag dudat siya, ang iba naman titingnan yung kamay pag merong sing-sing, or kung wala namang sing-sing, baka merong parang mark na puti dito na ginubad ang sing-sing. Iba naman, they would ask for 2 valid identifications and even the passport kasi malagay man yung civil status doon. No? Ako, gusto ko talaga passport kasi makita yung civil status. And then, yung iba naman, mas stricto pa mag-due diligence is that they even ask for a Sanumar. Sobra na yon. Pero iba talaga, seryoso, ganun ang ginagawa. And then, yung iba namang buyer, they conduct ocular inspection and if merong bahay and may mga tao doon, kausapin. Pero kung bare land lang, hindi naman makita kung sino ang in possession doon. Or kung merong caretaker, tatanong-tanong talaga sila na sino may-ari nito? Ano ba siya, may asawa o hindi? Ibig sabihin, talagang i-scrutinize po natin ang fact kung may asawa ba siya o hindi. No? And malaman po ninyo yan sa title kapag, lalo na kapag ang title medyo matagal na, 1990s issued, 1980s issued. Yeah, parang it will raise a question na, teka, parang ano yata kayo yung hindi ba kayo married? Tagal-tagal na itong title na ito sa mind mo, di ba? Ay, hindi po, single po ako talaga. I'm a spinster. Talaga. O sige, sa akin, I will inform my client na tingnan natin yung mga latest nila na mga IDs, no? O hindi, Sanumar. Kasi hindi talaga ako magkumpiyansa pag untitled is single, no? Unless I am sure na talagang single siya. Yun po tawag na due diligence. Now, whether or not you are considered, the buyer is considered as exercising due diligence or delay or negligent siya, that is a matter to be discussed in court. So if you're on the buyer side on that, that would be your defense. That I exercise due diligence and he has proven by way of evidences that she is single. So therefore, there is a valid sale already. So the fight now is between the two of them. Yun po ang ibig ko sabihin noon. Alright? So, ganun lang po ang technique niya, no? But the other party would claim na, well, alam mong, ba't ka nag-asa lang sa statement niya na she is single dahil single sa title? Bakit hindi ka pa nag-conduct ng further due diligence? No? So, depende po, case-to-case basis yan siya, Julian. No? And I think you better approach your lawyer on how to handle this problem if you're on the buyer side. Of course naman, kung ikaw ang buyer, bakit ka pa magbigay ulit, di ba? Nakabayad ka na. And you have to protect your property that you bought. Alright? And therefore, you have to prove that you exercise due diligence. Yun lang naman eh. Ganyan lang po. Si Christine pala. Alright. So, Joni, hindi po nakaregister under their name sa Registry of Deeds. Then yung title nila dumiretso na sa DNR as pre-patent. Yun nga. Yan ang, ano ba yung tanong mo dati, Joni? Almost 40 years na kami. Yeah. So, pwede po i-question nyo po yun, no? Kung wala pa naglampas ang 1 year, pwede nyo pa i-contest yung issuance ng pre-patent ng DNR. Pero kung naglampas na, pwede nyo pong i-question na po sa court kung nagsobra po siya. But you have to get evidences from the DNR na talagang nagsobra. And you have to prove that this is your title property. Siguro magkapit-bahay kayo niyan, yung Joni S, no? Magkapit-bahay siguro kayo nung nakabili. Tapos naka-encroach ba? Nasobrahan, no? So, yun lang procedure natin. Kapag lumampas na for how many years na ang title under their name, na-issuean na sila ng pre-patent and matagal na nila hawak ang title, then you have to go to court now to prove na nasobra ang pagbigay sa kanila ng lupa. And you get now proof from the DNR, yung report ng land investigator, paano na-issuean ng pre-patent, tapos, paano niya pag-conduct ng, meron bang relocation survey, kung mali ba yung pagkatrabaho doon, no? So, pwedeng ipa-nullify. But take note that it would not be considered as nullification para may prescriptive period dyan. So, wag po din tayong tatagal-tagal mag-question, no? Sa court, kaya baka mag-prescribe yung action nyo. I think it would be about 10 years lang din. Kung kaka-issue lang ng title, pwede nyo i-question sa DNR within 1 year. Alright? So, yun po ang rule, no? So, Christine ako, sabi mo, same last name po. Ano po ba ang ginamit, na ID po, Christine? Could you chat it to me? What kind of ID na ginamit po? Anong klaseng valid identification? Okay, before that, I'll go back to you. And sabi ni Christine, ang problem niya, the property was mortgaged sa bank and single lang din po ang borrower. Well, at the time of mortgage, you have to determine whether totoong single ba siya doon. Kasi kung na-dupe niya ang bank na married pala siya at the time of mortgage, so dalawa na kayo ng bank na loko noon. So, in that case, mas lumalakas na ang defense mo niyan. Kasi, usually, the bank will scrutinize yung parang credit investigation at yung pagkatao nung nagprenda. Hindi yan basta-basta. So, lumalakas ang depensa mo pag ganun. Alright? PM mo ko kung ano yung classic Christine na valid ID so that I would know. So Edna muna, kay Edna muna tayo. Bagong tanong ito, Edna Alegrado. Sir, ask ko lang po ng opinion nyo about sa lupa ng mga magulang ko na pinadaanan lang mga barangay official to put up ng kalsada without permission ng parents namin. May habol ba kami sa pabayaran sa government? Alright, okay. Okay. Pinadaanan ng mga barangay official. So, ibig sabihin, yung lupa nyo, okay, sabi ng mga barangay official, dito kayo magdaan. Right of way na ito ng mga residente dito. Now, take note now, meron din tayong video lecture niyan about right of way as well as yung mga road widening, yung just compensation. No? Now, in your case kasi, if it's the barangay claims na pinadaanan is that question is, meron bang expropriation proceedings ang government na ginawa? Ibig sabihin, meron bang yung tatlo kasing power ng government, ng state, yung the power of taxation, police power, at saka yung power of eminent domain. Yung power of eminent domain po, yun po yung taking of property for public use. Kaya nga, meron tayong mga road widening ngayon. The government takes the property, gawing bypass road, magdaan sila, mga tunnels and everything, no? But the owner must be given payment, no? Yung tatawag nating just compensation. Now, dapat sa situation ninyo, Edna, is that bago sana kunin, bayaran mo na kayo. Determination of just compensation. Now, kung wala pong ginawa na ganon, then you could rightfully exclude other people from using that land. Pwede nyo po isara yan dahil sa inyo yan. Okay? So, kailangan po ng taking. Now, kahit na sabihin natin ang title ninyo is issued as a homestead patent wherein may nakalagay doon na provision doon na pwedeng gamitin ng government for right of way, hindi po yan siya automatic. Kailangan meron pong information po sa inyo ng government and it should be the national government. And if the barangay wants to use it, magdaan po talaga sila sa proseso by asking it, no, for right of way from the government. Hindi naman pwede ang barangay lang mismo ang kukuha. So, with that question of yours, yung short question, yung konting facts mo, no, binase ko lang yung aking sagot, no. Hindi naman kompleto ang facts and details, so I may be wrong. So, itong opinion ko based lang sa mga facts na binibigay ninyo, ha. By the way, ang mga opinion ko dito based lang sa facts na binibigay nyo, chinachat nyo dito. So, I might not be able to fully grasp everything pag hindi kompleto ang facts. At saka yung the other side of the coin. Kasi dalawang mang klase ang discussion. Yung other side and the second side, no? Kung ano yung kinisabi nyo sa akin at ano rin yung sinasabi ng kabila. I have to listen to both of them. But nevertheless, since you have given me your question, I will try as best to answer it based on the facts that you presented. Alright. Okay, so Jonah ulit. Jonah San Jose, may bibilhin po kaming portion lang ng property pero ang owner at ang binigyan ng SPA is parehong nakatira sa Canada. Paano ma-recognize ang SPA sa Pilipinas kung physically both living pa Canada? Of course, hindi pwede. Kailangan yung pipirma nandito rin sa Pilipinas because she must execute the document in the Philippines sa territorial jurisdiction natin. Hindi ng document, kung bentahan pala yan o yun. So, she must be physically present. That's correct. Tama yung observation mo. Binigyan nga ng SPA ng taga-Canada pero nasa Canada rin yung naka-SPA. Hindi pwede yun. Dapat nandito siya sa Pilipinas to execute the deed of sale. Alright? So, the good observation. You have a watchful eye for that. So, sabi ni Christine, ang ID daw is an LTO ID. Andali, ha? Andali, I will check my... ID. I have an LTO ID. Oh, ang LTO ID doesn't sex, male, date of birth, wala namang sinabing weight, height, walang sinasabi dito kung ano kung married ba siya or hindi married. So you use that's a valid identification, no? And but it did not state kasi kung married siya o hindi. Ang case-to-case basis, of course, you could say, Christine, that you're in good faith and you conducted due diligence, valid identification niya, and everything. And dumaan din sa bank. Ganon. May depensa naman din kayo to claim that you're in good faith. You might win in this case if they will file a case, no? Although nga, sabi ko, in my case, for my client buyers, if they will tell me na, attorney, ano ba ito pwede ito bilihin? Tapos pag single, a little bit strict ako. Kasi alam ko na rin kasi yung mga problems like your problem. And I told them to, oops, we got to get yung valid identification na nakastate ang kanyang marital status or get a SENOMAR. But on your case, I could not fault you because an LTO is a valid identification too. And if it passed the bank and single ang ginamit niya, so I think you have a good defense there. Christine? So don't worry. Ilapitin nyo lang sa magaling na abogado nyo dyan sa lugar ninyo and maybe makatulong po sa inyo. Alright? Okay. So may defense po kayo. Edna, wala. Ano to? Edna, wala po asin kasi hinanapan ko sila at wala silang pinakita. Edna, ano ba yung tanong ni Edna kanina? Wala po. Yung right of way ng barangay. Okay. Wala po asin. Ay, hindi. Kung ako sa inyo, sarado ko yan. They have to deal with you. Hindi naman pwede just because they're the government, they can take it. No? As long as you're saying that's a private property, titled property, Edna, hindi naman pwede na abusuhin na lang dyan. Isrado ko yan kung ganun. They have to pay me. Even right of way ng private person, alam mo yung mga dominant estate, servient estate, yung dominant estate yung nakakulong, tapos napaligiran siya ng mga servient estate. Gusto niyang dumaan, tapos hindi siya magbayad. Hindi naman libre ang right of way. May bayad yan kahit private property. Ganon din yun sa public, gagamitin for public use ng government. No? So, you could do that. Alright? Okay. Ano pa? Si Karen G. Pinirmahan ng mother ko yung agreement pero ang pirma ng father ko iba. Nag-relocate ako, ayaw pumayag ng anak nang nagkiklaim na lagyan ng mohon kasi may pinirmahan mother ko at registered sa RODD ko. Well, iba ang pirma ng father mo, there might be some falsification of public documents. So, that's another thing. Alright? So, you could really question that. No? Iba ng usapan yan. It's about a complicated case of falsification na yan siya. Karen G. Ito si Kristen pa rin. She bought the property from developer where she declared herself a single, mortgaged it as single, sold as single, presented or newly renewed, same last name used in all. So, I think, Christine, you have a valid defense. Yeah, it could be a modus. It could be a modus if you have not, kung para doon sa mga tao na hindi makakandak ng proper due diligence. No? But hindi naman siguro yan talaga modus operandi na lahat ginagawa. Siguro may mga isolated transactions na ganyan. No? If suddenly sabi ng husband, I'm present and I'm alive, I am nothing to do and everything there. So the first thing that you should do is that you have to defend yourself by proving these things no, na present mo sa akin. So mas maganda ito ngayong presentation mo sa akin, Christine, no? That really bolster and strengthens that you were in good faith when you purchased this property and you exercised due diligence. So, in that particular scenario, you have to tell the husband na doon ka sa wife mo magreklamo. Humingi ka na ng share doon. Huwag ka magbigay. Ilipaglaban mo yan, ha? Okay. Sige. Alright, Christine. So, wala nang tanong dito muna. Balik ako dito. Ano ba ito kay Limuel? Gusto na po sila paalisin ng tatay ko. Anong pwedeng gawin? Hindi yata ito kompleto. Check natin ano ito. Okay. Good morning po, attorney. Please enlighten me all about the law. Ay, natapos na tayo dyan. Ito pa itong paalisin ng tatay ko. Hindi ko alam yan. Ito kay William Arenas. Okay. Pwede po malaman yung location nyo, sir? Kasi po, sana humingi ng legal advice para sa right ng lupa ng mother ko po. Binakuran pa, I am in Davao City, no? But you could ask questions, no? During our live sessions, William, katulad ng tinatanong nila Christine, yan, at nila Julien, you attend our live session, no? Live discussion every Saturday po, no? Starting from 10:30 to 12 o'clock, no? I'll give time to answer all your questions po. Alright. Sige. But I'm from Davao City, William. Okay. Let's go to Christine Dacumos. Hello, attorney. One of our great-grandfather has no heirs. Wala daw heir ang grand-grandfather niya. And our family is the only heir. But the thing is, we don't have a death certificate, no birth certificate. Nako. I think I have answered this already. Ang rule is that kailangan talaga ng proof of filiation yan. Ito, Christine, di ba? And you have to show proof that with respect sa death certificate ng papa mo, pwede yung great-grandfather is pwede naman yung gravesite nila na magkuha ka doon ng picture and you could prove the death and i-register ang death niyan. But the relationship with the grandfather, marami namang mga pwedeng gamitin, no? Yung family portrait pictures and everything that would show na kayo doon. Witnesses of the disinterested witnesses as well as yung mga old folks, no? And the barangay, maraming ways naman. So, you just prove that birth certificate, you could no longer get it, but you could get yung death certificate. Yung proof of relationship between the grandfather and yours, yan. It's really going to be a little bit madugo. But, of course, you have to prove yung mga portraits from the great-grandfather, mayroon siyang anak, tapos yung papa nyo nandun and everything. Magkakaroon ng tracer yan. Parang gawa kayo ng family tree, tapos i-trace nyo yan, i-work back ninyo. Dali lang naman. Alright. So, check na yan. Tapos na yan, na-discuss ko na yan. Last meeting. Anong article matagpuan irrevocable special permit? Nandun yun sa natin, lecture. Kita mo doon. Ni-cite ko lahat ng article. No? And, Florencia, thank you for the information you have been imparting, attorney. They are very educational. About inheritance, can you please discuss about inheritance for other relatives? For example, a grand aunt was properties, one of the grandnieces lived with her, o medyo, complicated. So, gawin natin ito, I will put a heart on this, and I will try to make a video on this, no? Medyo, na ito, may grandnephews, grandnieces. Kailangan na natin ng elaborate discussion of this. Meron tayong gawa tayo ng parang family tree nito. Para everybody would understand. No? So, I'm going to answer simple questions lang muna. Para everybody who is listening here right now is that watching this right now will be able to know that mas easy nila maintindihan, no? Ang pinag-usapan natin. Penelope Gomez. Sir, equal share po si Jane at yung child. Wala po half na conjugal share si Jane besides sa share niya po sa half the child. Of course, ang pagtanggal doon sa 50% ni Penelope, 50% share ni Jane sa estate, no, noong namatay niya na husband ni John is hati po sila. Kasi yung conjugal share niya tinanggal naman natin. Okay? So sa share ng estate ni John, hati sila half ng bata. Okay? So I have answered your question. Okay, meron pa dito. Dito naman tayo sa chat box, no? Good morning, Brad Bonnie. Uy, Vince. The Wicked Vince. Okay. Hello, Brad. Kumusta, Brad? Wicked Vince is my very good Brad in Ateneo Law School. And he's a lawyer. He's one of the best lawyers na magaling. Magaling magsulat. Thank you, Brad, for watching. And Christine, si Dilo Nabir, good day, attorney. Hi, Dilo Nabir, good day. And Christine, yes, welcome po. Welcome po. I hope I was able to help you, no, with your problem. And yeah. Okay. You could try to search me in Google, no? But I could help you give more on emphasis on this. So nandun po yung details ko, no? But take note, I would like everybody to understand that I am not soliciting any clients here when I am having this lecture and answering your question. My intention is to help everyone, those who needed help, na maka-extend ako kahit sa malalayang lugar by this platform, makatulong man lang tayo, no? This is a pre-legal aid, no, na service po ng inyong lingkod, no. But of course, Christine, if you want to ask more and you want to talk to me, I could probably assign a time and place and date for you to answer. And just please search me in Google, Raymond Batu, para magkuha mo yung contact details doon. Okay? And coming from this problem, I would tell you that I will not be charging, no, kasi I'm not soliciting clients nga dito. Alright, so si Chrisley Phil, yung right of way ba, attorney, na provided ng seller sa mga buyers, pwede ba ako mag-complain kung may encroachment ng mga buyer sa harapan ng portion? Passive na kasi yung may-ari tungkol dito. That's right. Kapag nabenta na yan ng may-ari, nako, passive. Pero pag nangungulekta pa, active subject. Pag nabayaran na, passive subject. Wala na. Sige, kaya na mag-usap na. Well, yes, of course. Kung nag-encroach yung mga ibang buyer doon sa right of way, because ang right of way cannot be owned by anyone else because it's for the use of everyone there. Since that is a right of way, kung may nag-encroach po yan, pwede po kayo magreklamo niya. Pero first siguro, idaan nyo muna sa barangay para naman mapag-usapan. Tapos ipa-survey ninyo para makita yung encroachment niya. Alam mo, ang geodetic engineer, magaling yan sila pag magawa ng survey. May dotted portions pa yan sila. Talagang minamarkahan nila yan. Ito ang encroachment. And then, from there, you could demand from them to atras naman kayo. Huwag nyo naman i-encroach yan. Lumiliit ang right of way. Dati makakadaan ng sasakyan. Ngayon, hindi na makadaan. So, wag ganon, no? Wag naman kayo masyadong pasaway. Wag ka naman take advantage. Dahil katabi nyo ang right of way, encroach nyo na. Hindi pwede yan. You could actually demand from it, no? In fact, kapag yung right of way na yan, pag hindi talaga, pwede kayo magdaan sa korte or even go to the city engineers for summary demolition kasi sigurado ko yung encroachment na yan, wala yung building permit. Alright? So, pwede yun. Okay. Chrisley Peel. Alright, kay Lynn Beltran. Hello, attorney. Ano po ang gagawin pag nawala ang papel na kasunduan ng pagbili ng lupa? Naggawa lang ng barangay, 1968 pa po ang bilihan. Ngayon po, naghabol na mga heirs ni seller, patay na po ang seller at buyer. So, meron silang kasunduan sa bilihan ng lupa at sa barangay lang. Well, actually, that is a valid, no? A valid document. Ang sabi ko sa inyo, basta sale po, wala namang form needed. Okay? Pwede yan siya isulat sa barangay, pwedeng sulat kamay nyo lang, pirmahan kayo ng bentahan ng lupa. There's no specific form. Kailangan lang natin notarize siya para maging registrable deed at matransfer ang title under your name. Okay, kaya yun ang sasabi ko sa inyo. Except lang, balik kang ulit na kapag deed of donation, kailangan notarize talaga siya in writing and must be notarized. Otherwise, it is not valid. Yun ang difference. So, sale, okay lang. Ang problema ninyo ngayon sa tanong ninyo, nawawala. Wala ba kayong photocopy? Baka meron kayong photocopy, at least ma-introduce natin as a secondary evidence, no? And pag ma-prove natin lang na secondary evidence yung kasulatan in court, ma-allow naman yan siya as evidence, no? Now, kung wala din kayong secondary evidence, wala kayong photocopy, wala kayong Xerox noong kasulatan nun, totally nawala talaga. Ang una kong tanong doon sa property na yun, sino ang in possession? Kung kayo ang in possession, ibig sabihin po, na-execute na ninyo ang transaction. Kasi bakit naman i-allow kayo i-allow ng seller ang buyer na mag-take possession sa property kung hindi siya nakabayad, right? So parang, what I'm trying to say is that meron kasi tayong statute of frauds. Kapag wala kayong kasulatan, hindi siya enforceable. Hindi mo pwede sabihin na, tama lang ang enforceable to. Pero kapag verbal lang ang usapan, tapos na-enforce na by, let's say, nakaposesyon na yung isa, buhay na ba, wala naman nag-object yung kabila, tapos in that case, kahit na nawawala yung kasulatan, enforceable yan siya. Ibig sabihin na kayo ang may-ari. Now, if you go to court, yun ang arguments na pwede nyo gawin under the statute of frauds, no? Pero kung meron kayong secondary evidence, mas mabuti din yung mga photocopy. Magamit nyo siya as evidence in court. So, medyo complicated ang question ninyo, no? And, napag-uusapan naman yan. Sometimes kasi ang mga ganyang sitwasyon nangyayari talaga. We cannot do anything about it. It happens, no? But nevertheless, based on the question ninyo, sa facts na i-present ninyo, I think yung nakabili, may laban naman basta in possession sila sa property. Alright? Pero pag hindi sila in possession, mahirapan na sila niya. Okay. Sige. Lynn, ulit. 50 years na po ang heirs ni buyer ang nakaposesyon ng lupa. Na po ang heirs ni buyer ang nakaposesyon ng lupa at nakabayad po lang. Ay, ibig sabihin, consummated na yan. So, yun nga, gaya ng sabi ko sa inyo, you will be able to defend it properly. Kayo naman, pambayar naman pala in possession ng property, okay? So, hindi na yan. Hindi na. Tapos sila pa nagbabayad ng real property taxes. So, if it goes to court, alam niyo, ang courts natin is not only courts of law but also courts of equity. Meron man tayong batas dyan to determine, no? So, if the court sees that kind of scenario, based on the facts na binigay mo, malaki ang chance na yung buyer is in possession for 50 years na sila ang mananalo. Alright? Wag nyo ibigay possession. Sabihin nyo, then, if they are the buyer side, sabihin nyo, then, you go to court para doon natin malaman kung sino ba ang tama, kami o kayo. Okay. So, ngunit na rin kayo sa lawyer, ha? Okay. So, si Julien's again, falsification of document. Nag-notarize po ng application form using cedula. But the client is out of the country, forged signature din by a relative. What happens to the notary lawyer sa probinsya? Naku po, malaki ang chance na masususpend yan siya. Pero kung mas depende sa gravity, the least that he could get would be suspension. Na hindi na siya maging notary public, no? Tapos, baka pwede pang ma-disbar kung meron talagang bad faith na nagawa. Depende sa facts, no? Kaya kami po, ingat kami talaga masyado sa mga ganyan na transaction. I want the parties to appear before me para mag-notarize. And in fact, I even ask them, alam mo ba ito pinipirmahan mo? Alam mo ba itong kontrata na ito? Ano ba itong mga, ano ito? Do you know these things? Do you understand the contract? Yes, sir. Okay. Minsan, pag maselan pa ang transaction nga, involving yung matanda na, tapos, may feeling ako na parang, ay, binibidyo ko pa nga eh. So, what I'm trying to point out, guys, is that when you're dealing in a transaction, especially sa mga real properties, mga ganito, hindi lang yung may kasulatan kayo, tapos punta kayo sa legitimate na notary public, yung talagang pwedeng videohan nyo na rin, please. Halos lahat naman tayo, meron na tayong cellphone, puro pwede may camera, may video, may pictures na yan eh. So, baka pwede nating picturean at videoan din naman. No? Para naman meron tayong secondary evidence to prove. Okay. Alam mo, videos would never lie. And pag makita yan ng korte, ano pa bang ano? Kaya nga, meron akong suggestion, sana makarating ito sa ating mga congressman. Paggawa kaya ng batas no na i-mandatory yung videos ng yung dash camera sa harapan ng sasakyan. Para pag may banggaan po, hindi na mag-antay dyan sa gitna ng daan at mag-antay pa ng traffic enforcer para kunan ng road investigation report. Tama na yan. Pero ng video, pakitaan ng video, may exchange ng ID, picture ng ID. So, okay, mag-usap tayo later on. Or mandatory own damage sa insurance, kahit na konti lang, kahit na mura lang na own damage na value na 10,000. Kasi TPL lang tayo, third party liability. Comprehensive, yung CTPL. O nga, third party liability lang tayo pag yung makasakit tayo ng tao. But why not include yung own damage, mandatory own damage? But napaisip lang ako kasi high-tech na tayo eh. We have to live in a world wherein we have to use this technology. So going back, no, kung may transaction kayo, picturean nyo. Ako nga, minsan may mag-picture-picture, may mag-video-video habang nag-transaction. Sabi ni, uy, huwag ka ganyan, uy, magalit siya. No, hindi ako magalit. You do that. You video everything that what we are doing here so that we have evidence to prove that the transaction is above board. All right. Everybody was here present and it was explained to them at naintindihan nila lahat. All right. Sige. So, si Supremo Aurea. Wait. Tandali. Si Chrisley ulit. Ano po bang tawag sa complaint tungkol sa encroachment ng right-of-way attorney? Encroachment. Yan. Encroachment of right-of-way. No? Yan ang i-file ninyo sa barangay. No? And pinaseparate ko yung right-of-way attorney at may separatist sa pangalan ng owner pero na-unrate ko yung agreement. Yes. Correct yan, Chrisley. Pag kaya yung right-of-way na yan, na naka-separatity sa pangalan ng owner, tas annotated yung easement of right-of-way, Chrisley, hindi pwede gamitin. That is lang pang road. Hindi nga pwede bentayan, hindi pwede iprenda and everything ng owner eh. Nobody can use that except for road. Kahit paso po ilagay dyan sa tabi ng road, hindi pwede. Hindi naman dumadaan ng paso. Hindi naman yan siya. Daanan yan eh, ng tao at ng sasakyan. So, yung 2.5 meters, walang sagabal yan. Pag may pumasok dyan, you could complain. You could have it abated, no? So, don't worry, Christy. Sangguni ka ng lawyer to help you to do that, alright? See, kay Aurea Supremo na tayo. May right po ba ang nakatira sa house and lot na loan ng brother ko pero di nabayaran sa NHMFC ng nakatira? Tinuloy na lang ng brother ko para di ma-foreclose. Paano po papaalis ang nakatira? Well, una-una, nung baka na-foreclose na yan siya, Supremo. Hindi ko alam kung ang tanong ninyo is, pasalo ba yan siya na nag-deed of sale with assumption of mortgage? Pero I think hindi yan. I think na-foreclose na ng National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation at binili bilhin ng kuya mo. Well, actually, you could file a case for recovery of possession. Pero kung na-foreclose na yan, dapat si National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation, nagkuha na sila ng writ of possession para alisin yan sila. That they can be, wala po na silang right sa property. Pero pinakamainam yan is kausapin na lang kasi baka matulungan nyo na lang pang relocation nila, konting financial assistance para umalis. Pero kung hindi talaga sila umalis, matigas ang ulo, baka nag-buy time, you have to go to court. Wala tayong choice. Dahil tinuloy ng kuya mo, ng brother mo, gusto siguro niya talagang yung property, alam niyang pinasok niya na meron nakatira doon. So, alam niya na hindi niya basta-basta mapaalis yun without a court order unless voluntarily umalis at mabigyan niya. So, mura din pagkabili ng kuya mo, ng brother mo dahil may problem. Sometimes, Pag-ibig, National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation, nagbebenta sila ng mura pero ang kasunduan, ikaw magpaalis na nakatira dyan. Okay, so you have to go to court. So kasama sa budget mo yung lawyer niyan at pag-file yung filing fee sa korte. So I think alam naman ng brother mo ang consequences of what he did, no? By purchasing that problem, no? That property with a problem. All right. So, Lynn Beltran, thank you po, attorney. God bless and more power. Ang laking tulong po ng mga content nyo. Yes, salamat po, Ma'am Lynn Beltran. Alam nyo po, guys, yung mga papuri nyo na binibigay sa akin, na pinapost sa comment and everything, makes me work hard to make more video lectures like this, no? And to further help people. Because really, my intent is to advocate na gusto ko maintindihan ninyo na hindi na yung malalim na language. Gusto ko in layman's term maintindihan ng lahat po about itong batas natin para hindi na kayo maggumastos ng malaki masyado, no? At hindi na rin kayo, kung ma-enter in a transaction, meron kayong guide ba? Meron kayong giya man lang na at least maging smooth ang transaction ninyo, no? I'm trying this to at least help, no? Alright, thank you, Lynn, no? Thank you for that heartwarming papuri na natanggap ko. Karen! Oh, si Karen nandito pa. Attorney, auntie ko single, may apartment, namatay na. May usapan sila noong magkapatid, hati sila sa upa. Yung dalawang kapatid namatay na ngayon. Wala na bang karapatan yung anak ng namatay na kapatid sa upa? Well, technically speaking, pag-usapan muna natin ganito. Yung usapan nila nung done na. So, si auntie mo na single na may namatay na, ang heirs niyan is yung mga kapatid. Tapos yung umatid is patay na rin yung mga pamangkin by right of representation. So, collateral kasi wala man siyang descendants, walang ascendants, I assume. So, dito tayo titingin sa mga kapatid niya. Yun ang mga tagapagmana or may-ari na ngayon ng apartment. Now, kung ilan sila, kasama yung mga pamangkin, divided by nila yon. Pero yung kung per sibling, kung let's say ang isang sibling is namatay, isang kapatid namatay at meron siyang 5 pamangkin, yung 5 pamangkin, 1 share lang siya noong namatay, ha? Hindi niya, baka sabihin niya equal share tayo lahat. So, ang sharing system would be that yung mga kapatid is that tagwa 1 share sila doon sa estate ng kanilang namatay na kapatid. Alright? Karen. Christine, another case po. Is it safe to buy property but only wife appeared with pre-signed deed and copy of ID with specific... Ay, hindi ako magpahig niyan, Christine. Is it safe to buy property but only wife appeared with pre-signed deed and copy of ID with specimen signature of husband saying husband is busy? No, 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 no. Sabi pa ng karakter natin. Never allow that. Ako, I will require the presence of the husband. Kung busy po siya, busy din tayo. Busy ka din. Kung interesado talaga sila bilihin ang property, abenta ang property, at mapagbili, mag-alat ka naman ng konting time, no? Kasi pera na yung matatanggap mo. Grabe. Hindi, kaya huwag ka magpayag ng ganyan na transaction. Baka po kasi forge ang signature o baka patay na pala yung husband yan. That's good. Now you're learning. I'm happy. Do not allow it. Talagang exercise due diligence. Anyway, wala namang mawala sa'yo kung hindi mo bibilhin, di ba? Sila, may mawala sa kanila yung opportunity na mayroong buyer na bibili. Kung may nakita na kay iba, and later on, bahala na sila. That's their problem. Alright? Sige. Chris Lee, maraming salamat, attorney. Napakalinaw mo mag-provide na masagot sa mga komplikadong tanong namin dito. Yeah, I'm trying my best to answer all your questions. Talaga. And I hope you learned something, a thing or two. Alright. Jonas San Jose. Meron po silang katiwala sa Pilipinas. So, yun po dapat ang may SPA. Napipressure po kasi ang mother ko dahil yung taga-Canada nagbigay na ng price at deadline 50% this November and the rest December through Western Union. Alam mo, Jonas San Jose. Parehas pa tayo na apelyido ng papa ko. San Jose din ng papa ko. Okay. Alam nyo, yung pinipressure ng ganon, that is not good. Because, ang rule kasi is that, before ka mag-enter into transaction, dapat complete ang documents and including that SPA na nasa Canada. Now, kung may katiwala po sila, edi what if yung katiwala na lang ang gawan niya ng apostille SPA from Canada para mag-execute ng deed of sale. Tapos, remember lang na yung 50% down payment, it should be named, kung cheque man or i-wire transfer nyo, it should be named under the name of the principal seller, ha? Huwag doon sa attorney-in-fact. Delikado yon. Ipangalan nyo talaga sa name ng seller. Doon talaga ibibigay. But kailangan po yung SPA. Now, kung sabihin niya ngayon na, o sige, forthcoming gagawin ng SPA, pero dapat bayaran na yung ngayong December, November, paano naman ang transaction natin yan, sir? Ma'am, nasa Canada kayo. Wala pa man tayong rule on electronic signature. Now, the question is this one. Yun bang kasulatan sa messenger or sa ano ninyo na nag-usap kayo na ito ang bentahan ninyo 50% tapos pagka December and everything, would that be considered as valid? In my opinion, I think so. Basta as long as you give them the money and you take possession of the property, ang kulang na lang yung deed of sale para maging registrable deed siya, registrable transaction para malipat ang title under your name. Gaya nung sabi nung sino ba yung nagsabi na passive subject na? Si ano? Sino ba yan? Passive subject na. Na kapag natanggap na yung pera, hindi na yan mag-execute ng document. Kaya tayo naman, by nature as a human being, before we give, you give so that I may give. Yan man yan. Do et des, no? Sa Latin. But so, you give the SPA so that I give you my money and magkasarahan ang transaction. Wala na akong kailangan sa'yo. Wala ka na kailangan sa akin. Alright? Bakit po kayo napipressure kung hindi kompleto? If you really do not, unless you're staying in that house and baka ibigay sa iba, but even if they sell it to other people, yun man din ang hahanapin sa kanila because definitely, a buyer of a property will consult a lawyer. Sir, okay ba bilhin ito na ang SPA at saka ang attorney in fact na sa Canada? Paano pirmahan, di ba? Hindi ka naman lalabas ng pera na without consulting a lawyer. Don't be dumb to do that. Lalo na pag-complicated ang transaction. Kailangan, magkano lang naman konsultasyon ng abogado? Hindi na malaki yan. Pa-consult lang kayo. Di ba? So, be careful. Be careful. So, wag ituloy pag ganyan. Alright. Julians, I like so much mga visual aids sa discussion. Yeah. Ako po talagang gumagawa ng mga visual aids natin. Natutuwa kasi ako magawa ng visual aids, Julians. And I'm trying to be more creative so that everybody would be able to understand, no, na what we are discussing. And so that you will be able to use that as your guide later on in your future transactions. Chrisley, last po, attorney, nakalimutan ko pong itanong sa iyo, maaari ko bang i-improve yung right of way, ipa-concrete pavement ko po ito para malinaw talaga ang 2.5 meters wide at para walang bakod na lumagpas? Okay. Yes, ganito yan. Ang question ko muna, yung right of way na yan is that sino ba ang pwede maggamit? Ikaw lang ba or meron pang ibang tao? Now, since kung meron pang ibang tao magamit, it would be best din na, kahit na, although they will be happy if you will do that, pinaka the best po is to also get their consent. Na, okay, I'm going to do this, or probably by the owner, para meron kayong written agreement na you're going to have it concrete. Nakaswerte naman nila, no? Ikaw pa magpasemento nung right of way. Gaano ba kahaba yan? Baka malaki ang gas, millions ang gagastusin mo yan, iya. But if you really wanted to, because parang gumanda rin, well, but you have to somehow, kasi ang use kasi noon, common eh. Unless that is for your use only, based on the agreement, and then you don't need the consent of other people. Okay? Sige. Christine, what if the wife presents notarized SPA with copy of valid ID from husband and the wife will sign for herself and her husband, safe na po ba? Okay. May SPA. Yan. Alam mo, SPA is a legal and valid and binding document wherein somebody authorizes another person to act for in his behalf. Okay. Totoo yan siya, Christine. That's true. And in cases, the wife may give, or the husband will give, in your case, will give an authority to the wife to sign for purposes of his marital consent. Okay man yan siya. Pero ako, iba ang, meron akong yung the moment I see an SPA, automatic kagad ako, hindi kagad ako nag-yes, automatic dudahuso kagad ako. Bakit? Eh, pwede nga, sabi mo, pwede nga ma-forge ang signature eh. If the SPA has been executed a long time ago, let's say 2 years ago, while it is valid, I will be asking for an updated SPA, or the very least, kakausapin ko yung husband, mag-video call kami. Ikaw ba talagang husband? Tingnan ko yung ID niya kung kamukha ba. And then I say, ano ba ito? SPA na ito? Is this yours and everything? What is your name? Anong pangalan po ninyo? Anong pangalan ng wife niya? Tatalangin ko talaga ng klaro yan. Sabi ko, or I will ask for an updated SPA. Kasi it's possible na sabihin niya, 2 years ago na yun, ay kasi husband ko busy, hindi makausap, gano'n. I'll be asking for it. What if kung the husband is already dead? You know, the death of the principal extinguishes also the agency. Mamamatay rin yung agency. Wala nang attorney in fact. And the insanity or civil interdiction, yung nakulong na mayroong penalty of civil interdiction, or any mental faculties na mayroong ma-destroy na mental faculties ng principal, it extinguishes the agency. Unless it is an SPA coupled with interest. Now, take note that I have discussed that in our Big U lectures. Please watch it. Yung SPA na hindi namamatay. Okay? At saka yung strictong requirements kapag nagdi-deal tayo ng special perpetuity. I enumerated yung mga tips para hindi po tayo maloko at maisahan. Kasi maraming very careful ako pagdating sa SPA. And pinaka number 1 titingnan ko niya, abogado kaagad eh. Oops, tinan to si Juan de la Cruz. Ito daw ang kanyang roll number. Search ko agad sa website namin sa Supreme Court. Okay, lumabas siya. Tapos saan siya nagpa-practice, makikita doon. Bakit nasa Cebu? Isa Davao ang transaction. Ay, meron akong pending case yan ngayon. Yung ginawa ko, abang due diligence ko, tinawagan ko yung abogado. Partner, attorney ba to from Davao City? Panyero. Kasi meron kaming directory eh. Yes, Panyero, ano matulong ko? Nag-notarize ba kayo dito sa Davao? Hindi na ako notary public eh. Nagtakbo na nga ako ng government official na ako, hindi na ako niyan. Ganun ba? Itong panahon na ito, wala ako niyan. Alam na natin na fake. Kasi meron eh. Patikita mo nga sa akin at bigyan kita ng certification na hindi yan akin. So, kasi alam niyo po, hindi lang po signature nung tao o yung parties ang mapeke. Pati yung mga notary public din, nadadali kami. Si Inday Sara nga noon, one time, si Vice President, di pa siya mayor noon. Mayor na siya. Davao. Umabot ang kanyang stamp sa Manila sa recto. Inday Sara Duterte, nag-notarize siya. Galit na galit siya. Maraming mga, may iba, yung mga judge, paano makaka-notarize? Sabi niya, that is not ours. Maraming nag-fake talaga. Kaya, tingnan niyo yung paano mag-determine ng legitimate notary public. Panoorin niyo rin yun sa video lectures natin. Ako, I'm very careful with the lawyers from na hindi ko kilala. I really kasi take note doon sa aming stamp sa baba, we are required to give our email address and contact numbers. The first thing I do if medyo duda ako sa papeles, tatawagan ko yung number na yun and I'll talk to the lawyer. Panyero, attorney ba to? Just for purpose of confirmation, ganito. Ano yung document number, Panyero? Ganito. Sige, pa-check ko sa secretary ko. Can you call me back? Okay. Balik ako, sabi niya, okay yan, Panyero, notarize ko yan. Gusto mo mag-issue ako ng certified true copy. So, careful lang po tayo, no? Christine, what if the wife presents, yun ang answer ko sa'yo. Wag, hindi pa yan safe. Scrutinize it. Mabuti pa, ipa-scrutinize mo doon sa private lawyer mo if you have one, no? Scrutinize mo. Do not part away with your money na without scrutinizing that SPA. Okay? And Karen, again, maraming salamat, attorney, at nalaman ako na sinabi mo na sila na lang buhay ang may karapatan. God bless po. And yes, God bless you more, Karen G. And Chris Lee, meron pang ibang tao magamit ng right of way kasi parang rollats yung nabili namin. Mga less than 10 na yung nababili pero ako lang po nakatransfer. Yun nga, mahirap yun. Huwag sana tayo magbili ng rollats, no? At tingnan nyo yung video lecture ko, rollats scam nga ba? O, diba? Alright, and Jonah San Jose, thank you so much, attorney. Really appreciate your time and help. Yes, Jonah. Chris Lee, Phil, thank you also. Lynn Beltran, follow-up question. Okay, I'll answer this last question. It's already 12:13. Follow-up ko po, attorney. Pilit po sa akin ng mga heirs ni seller ang lupa at sila ang magsaka. Ipapulis daw po nila ang heirs ni buyer. Ano po ang gagawin ng mga heirs ni buyer? Ba, ipapulis din nila. Alam mo, storya lang yan eh. Marites lang yan eh. The thing is that if merong talagang controversy, mas mabuting ipatawag nyo na lang sila sa barangay para doon na magkaalaman. Okay? Kung ipapulis kayo, ipapulis nyo rin. Kayo ang main possession, kayo ang nagbabayad ng real property tax, kayo ang meron sa tax deck. So, that's it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to enforce your right. Karapatan nyo yan. Ipilit nyo ang karapatan nyo. Alright? O, sige. So, with that, hello, attorney, question po. Dumating na po yung order number from Itchak yung October 21. Hindi pa kami nakapag-submit ng position letter. At October 31 kami nakakuha na SPA from the embassy. Monday padating sa Pinas. Okay, Aisha. So, guys, I'll be back on Saturday. If you have other questions, you ready your question, no? Medyo gandahan nyo yung ano ninyo. Yung mga questions nyo para isahan ng pagbansa natin pag-answer. I'll be back and this coming Saturday. And again, as I always say, thank you for everything and for watching. Sukran, danke, and maraming salamat po. Bye-bye.